welcome your host, Alan Titchmarsh.
Wednesday's show. It's a very important day today because this is the 400th episode of the OP. Gosh, and they said it wouldn't last. There we are. Well, we've pulled out all the stops for our 400th show. Here's what's coming up this afternoon. He's comedy royalty. Lenny Henry reveals all about being back on the road and his recent life-changing trip to Africa. She's the loose woman with one heck of a rollercoaster life story. Sherry Hewson's here. Lock, stock and two smoking barrel star Nick Moran drops by as he switches to a career behind the camera. And they're still churning out hits 7 years on. Music and chat from the princes of pop, McFly. And now to welcome my first guest, Jane McDonald, Sherry Hewson and the woman who appeared on the very first AT show, Karl Malone. Welcome. Reunion time. Well, first up today, something you girls will all have an opinion on. Tess Daly's dress. The 41-year-old was attending the Television and Radio Industry Club Awards, the Trick Awards, and was wearing this Max Mara outfit here, which looked like a cross between a trouser suit and a dress. It's certainly eye-catching. It's made it into all the papers. But what do you make of it, girls? What do you think of it, Jane?
Well, if I had a figure like that, I'd be wearing it to Tesco. I would, because she's probably the best she's ever looked, is Tess. She's confident. She's at an age now where she's confident, and she looks fantastic. She's got a body to die for.
She's fantastic.
Know, so Look
at the legs that go up to her armpits.
Yeah.
Do you think she might have known there were photographers there? Because it was only a lunch.
It makes me laugh a bit, all these celebs who say, I don't want publicity and I want to live a quiet life, and then they appear in that at lunchtime. Yeah. It's incredible. But you're right. She's lost a lot of weight, though. She's lost a lot of weight.
Terrific. Yeah. I don't like that thing where they do your age, but I thought I would say 41, because, I mean, she's astonishingly gorgeous for 41.
Is she 41?
Yeah, 41.
I've just gone right off her.
Yeah. Well, next up, then, how ridiculous is this? Here you are. Here's a picture. Daily Mirror this time. That was Daily Mail, previous one. Footballer Ashley Vickers challenged a streaker who was running across the pitch in his Borat outfit there during last night's Dorchester Town game. He found himself sent off by the referee. Vickers said the opposing team even offered to take one of their players off to even things up a bit. It's a bit crazy, this, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know what, though? Why do men wear mankinis?
Oh.
Do you know, but why do they keep streaking? Every man who streaks, they don't look good. They're all about 5 stone wet
You've
through.
got £100, that's it for that. Yeah, showing all those horrible bits to people.
And actually, do you know, that poor player, he must be gutted. But maybe do streakers have human rights? Maybe it was a convention, you know.
They will. I can't see you in a mankini.
Oh, I can.
No. I've always thought, you know, I wouldn't mind being a nudist, but then you look at the ones that are nudists and you think it's never the ones that you want to see without the clothes on. Now, today marks the start of Lent, and 60-year-old heating engineer Steve Whitley is giving up work after winning a record-breaking £1.45 million. That's what he's giving up, his work. He picked 6 winners in a £2 accumulator bet. Now, let's what are you getting up for Lent, Jane?
Absolutely nothing. I'm past it now. I just can't be bothered. I know I should do. I should be very good and maybe give up chocolate or wine.
Yeah.
But do you know what? I'm getting older now, and life's too short to be giving stuff up.
We were just saying, but we put weight on while the series has been off.
Oh, thanks for just saying that to the whole nation.
We were just saying, you know, neither of us have even got our spanky corsets on today because we can't be bothered anymore.
Well, they're in it all hang out, girls. We're not bothered.
I'm not letting standards on this programme slip.
Well, it's too late.
If you can't wear your spanky corsets when you come on here...
They can't come on, can they? No, you're right.
Are you wearing yours, Sherry?
Well, the thing is, I'd give up sex if I was having any. So, for me, I haven't got anything to give up, Alan.
Do you know, I worry more and more that this show is definitely morphing into loose women.
So what are you giving up, then?
Come on.
What are you giving up?
Me, I'm giving up smoking.
You don't smoke?
That's why I'm giving it up.
Exactly.
But I've got good news, actually. If you are desperate to give up smoking for Lent, let me introduce you to a new type of electronic cigarette. that may help you along. This is it. They're called E-lights, and they come in sort of several packs, as I can see. They're made of plastic. If you look at it, this is an E-light cigarette. Now, you can smoke these on the tube because it's not real smoke. Apparently, they have a little bit of nicotine in it, but look at this. These are plastic cigarettes. It's sort of battery-powered. I don't smoke, so forgive me if I'm not very good, but...
What's that coming out of your mouth, then?
I smoke, but I don't...
But what is it?
What is it? Well, there you are. There's one in front of you, look. Have a go. It's got... And I'll tell you a bit about them. £25 for a pack of 60.
I'm frightened to do this in case it makes me smoke again. I used to.
So a 10-a-day smoker can save £700 a year. Oh, the green ones are menthol, the ones that go green.
Menthol.
Oh, you've got menthol, look. But they can be smoked under. They've got a green...
What are you doing? Do you remember when we were really young, we used to smoke Sobrani?
No, and pink and green and yellow.
Yeah, I used to think I looked fantastic.
I thought I looked fantastic.
Well, they're charged up. You can charge these up with a USB stick. The battery lasts for 15 to 20 cigarettes. Children, they are not toys. They really... but they're to help people wean them off cigarettes. And as it's National No Smoking Day, or wean them on. Yeah, they are odd, aren't they? I mean,
very you look like Fag Ash Lil there, do you know that?
You look like in the snugging corridor.
Mine tastes like old lard.
Mine's minty. Mine's very nice. Yeah. This feels weird.
Smoker's coffee.
You can actually get a cigar.
Oh, my God.
Call me Lou Grade. Absolutely. No, I'm sure if you smoke, they're lovely. Finally, to the new poll that's revealed that sexism is dead. Sexism is dead, and in honour, we're going to share a few outrageously un-PC sexist jokes with you. So we'll start at the end. Let's start with Carol. What's your sexist joke?
Right, how many men does it take to change a loo roll? Nobody knows because it's never been done before.
Why does it take 100 million sperm to fertilise one egg? Because none of them will stop and ask for directions.
Yes, come on.
I love this one. Marriage is like the witness protection programme. You get new clothes, you live in the suburbs, and you're not allowed to see your friends anymore.
It is, and this one's true. I married Miss Right. I just didn't know her first name was Always. And before the complaints flood in, there's just time for me to say there'll be more from Jane, Sherry and Carol a little bit later, but for now, my thanks to Jane McDonald, Sherry Houston and Carol Malone. Still to come this Wednesday afternoon, one of Britain's funniest comedians, Lenny Henry's here. Actor and now movie director Nick Moran drops by. There's music from pop sensations McFly, and find out how a bottle of wine could boost your bank balance. We'll be right back. And you will be pleased to know I have now given up smoking for Lent. Still to come, the very funny Lenny Henry's here. There's music and chat from McFly. Loose... Oh, their mum's in. A loose woman, Sherry Houston, drops by and find out how a bottle of wine could make you a fortune. But... send it over to you if you like. But my next guest shot to fame when he starred in the iconic Brit flick Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. But these days, he's carving out a career behind the camera. His latest film tells the story of Kevin Lewis, who became a best-selling author, but his early life was far from happy.
He'd been let out only to go to school, and then he'd been locked back up in his room again.
I can't go back there. I don't want to go back. When anyone tries to show any affection, he attacks them.
This young man has known nothing but hate and violence.
Forever trying, you're gonna find your way out of the wild, wild wood. Said you're gonna find your way out of the wild, wild wood.
Please welcome Nick Moran. One inside it. The Kid, out now on DVD. It is the ultimate feel-good film, really. Tell us about the story.
I think that's... I'm so glad you said that. The book is a really harrowing read, but it was sold 1 million copies. It was a #1 bestseller, and it's a biography of Kevin Lewis, who was brought up in an extremely violent family background, and how he sort of gets out of that, and you know, he met the woman that became his wife, and ultimately he wrote the book just as an apology to his then girlfriend, to explain why he was so reserved and contained, and he wrote this sort of 200-page love letter, and she got it published, and it became a bestseller. But the wonderful thing about it is that, you know, Kevin is now a best-selling author, and he's got a tennis court in his house, and so it's this idea that what I wanted to do with this film is be able to make something which is harrowing. When I introduce it, we're touring around America with it at the moment, doing various festivals, but I always introduce the film as a feel-good movie and let people know that there is a happy ending, because it's so harrowing and it's almost unfilmable, but as long as you let people know that there's some sort of kismet, some sort of...
There's a light, and there's a light at the end of the
It's a journey into light, I think, as a film. And I got the idea, funnily enough, well, I was talking to Danny Boyle, that everyone will know is the Oscar-winning director at the London Film Festival, about 2 years ago. He had a film called Slumdog Millionaire, whatever happened to that. And my film Telstar was at the same festival. They were the sort of two big movies. And I spoke to him at a party, the closing night party, and I said, why is it that you've got a film where a kid gets his eyes gouged out with a red-hot spoon, and women get raped in hotel rooms, and mothers get murdered in front of their children, but yours is the feel-good film of the year? But I've got a film which is a very funny biography of a famous record producer that killed himself, and my movie's a bit of a downer. And he said, Nick, see, all my jokes are at the end. And I thought that's it, that's what you have to do. So with this film, I took that little piece of advice, because, you know, whatever happened to him and his movie, I thought, as long as you let people know that it is a feel-good movie, that there is this wonderful reward at the end of it, then they'll sit through the things that they need to sit through, which is the message of the movie. It's an important film because it is about child abuse, and it does address a lot of issues.
Now, you filmed it where you grew up. I mean, was that easier then, or more difficult?
It was. If anyone here, I know it's on the other channel, but if anyone here watches The Choir, there's...
Gareth Malone.
Exactly. There's the South Oxley, the estate that I went to school on, is where they used it for the second series of The Choir, the one that's just been on. And it is a very, very rough estate, but there's a lot of warmth and a lot of great people on that estate. And basically, all of those tin house estates, this book was set in New Addington, which is in Croydon and a little bit inaccessible from the studios. Yeah. South Oxley is a bit closer to Shepperton and Pinewood and all those places that we needed to get, you know, to get our gear from. And when I took Kevin onto South Oxley, he couldn't believe how they are built off plan and completely identical. So we just sort of moved everything to South Oxley because I sort of knew everyone there from school, and I thought we're less likely to get set fire to and robbed. You know? and it was a case of when you see the little Herberts coming around on their bikes, I could say, "Shut up! I went to school with your dad," and I did. You know, so it was it was very interesting to go back to my old school and my old estate with a bunch of movie stars and making movies. So it was quite interesting.
Well, this is you then, the other side of the camera. You're still, mercifully, still doing a bit of acting. I mean, you're going to be in the last Harry Potter film.
Yeah, I am the new baddie in the Harry Potter films. So I turned up in this one, which was absolutely fantastic. It was just the best job you can imagine. And there I am, Scabia. And I you know, they rekindle it for film 2. But what was, very briefly, what was so funny about it is I'm on the set of The Kid, making this film, and directing it, shouting and arguing with the camera crew and doing my little Napoleon sort of stomping around telling people what to do. And the car from Warner Brothers pulls up. I had to get into the car, go to the set of Harry Potter, do a night shoot on Harry Potter till 5, 6 in the morning, get back in the car and come straight back to set and carry on working. She was still with a bit of the outfit.
Was it difficult stopping shouting yourself and having people shouting at you then?
It was great. It was like being in a health camp, you know. It just, and I don't mean this any disrespect to our movie, it's a great film, but I think Harry Potter spent more money on biscuits and cakes than we spent on our whole movie. It was just, I'm never this massive winning bag of people being really nice to you and they spoil you rotten. No, it's not like this on my set. But no, it was wonderful. It was sublime to the ridiculous.
Bless you. Well, both will be worth seeing. Harry Potter certainly, but also The Kid. Great film.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Moran.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Time now for some music from one of Britain's most successful boy bands. Since their first hit 7 years ago, they've barely paused for breath. and 2011 looks set to be their busiest year yet. They're one member down today, so please welcome Danny, Tom and Harry McFly. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right. We last met on Pop Star Superstar.
We did, yeah.
Well, you did a great funicular, grabbed your groin and went out.
I got off that, didn't I?
You
did
did
like
indeed,
that.
you did.
That was good.
But this is nice to see you again, Tom.
Good to see you.
Now, tell us about Dougie, because he's a bit hors de combat at the moment, isn't he?
He's just having some rest. He'll be back for tour, though. We're going on tour in a couple of weeks, so he's just looking forward to that.
You know, I interview bands. I interviewed one earlier this week who were formed in August last year. And you think, well, they'll be around this time next year. 7 years, not bad. Really.
I know, it's unbelievable, and we don't take it for granted. We appreciate it, and our fans are amazing. And, yeah, we're very, very lucky to still be around. But, you know, must be doing something right.
You must be. I'm just going to go and talk to because he gets let out back here. Harry, you all right?
Very well. Very well. How are you?
Jolly good, that's fine. Nice to have you all on the show. Here performing their latest single, That's the Truth, McFly.
Feel like I've been put on trial with you. I know that something's wrong and I'm the one accused. And when the verdict's in, it's us who's gonna lose. And I can't wait for you to finally hear the truth. Because you shouldn't have to plead my case. So much love to say. And if you listen to the things that your friends say, you're gonna be lonely. How can you treat me like that when I give my all to you? 'Cause I haven't been messing around, I would never go out and do things that you don't want me to do. 'Cause I can tell you right now that you'll never find the evidence on me. Yeah, that's the truth. Come on. Oh, 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 yeah, that's the truth. Oh, oh, oh. I mean, the Lord's the dogs, they're telling you what to say. They wish they had what we have, and it's jealousy that's in the way. 'Cause I can't sit round and watch them build a case. With this whole savings now, I'm just doing this to clear my name. Because I shouldn't have to plead my case. So much love to say. And if you listen to the things that your friends say, you're gonna be lonely. Can you treat me like that when I give my all to you? 'Cause I haven't been messing around, I would never go out and do things that you don't want me to do. 'Cause I can tell you right now that you'll never find the evidence on me. Yeah, that's the truth. So,
Wonderful, you know, if you'd have forgotten the words there, Danny, they were all mouthing it on the front row. They could have sung it anyway. So, but Fly's single's available right now, and we send all our good wishes to Dougie for a speedy recovery. Now, if a colourful life was part of the job description on Loose Women, then my next guest is more than qualified. She won an Olivier Award, aged just 15, has lived in a brothel, once threw up all over Steve McQueen, and for many will be remembered as a Corrie legend.
Do you know something?
No.
My horoscope this morning, do you know what it said?
No.
You're going to have a big surprise across the water.
Oh. Good Lord, that is uncanny, that. Maureen.
Yes?
I can't tell you what this means to me. Having the love of my life beside me here at last.
Oh,
oh Maureen.
Oh.
Oh.
Mr. Holdsworth!
Maureen.
What is it?
There's something wrong with the floor is all wet!
Please welcome Sherry Hewson. I gather from looking at this, Sherry, behind the laughter,
Yes.
but my goodness me, there's a lot of laughter in it as well as harrowing stories. That particular scene there, when he got up to go to the door, was apparently quite a surprise to you.
Yes, it was, because we had to do it in one take, because there really was 400 gallons of water in that bed. And when Derek bursted, it actually covered the whole studio floor, so it had to be contained, and we had to do it really quickly. So we had no clothes on, in case anybody thought, you know, we were pretending to be in bed together. Anyway, I was under the duvet, but of course Reg wasn't. He got out, just a little towel round his body with nothing on underneath, ran to the door, went out of the camera shot and dropped the towel. And I think that's why I'm on my own now, because the image of that is
There are encounters within the book of meeting extremely glamorous people. I mentioned Steve McQueen.
Yeah.
So how did you come to meet Steve McQueen?
Well, because I was at RADA, the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, and as a student, an 18-year-old student, and he came to talk to us, and we couldn't understand a word he said, but it didn't matter, he was so beautiful. Anyway, I was chosen to take him on a red bus, because he wanted to go on a red bus, so I couldn't speak. As you can imagine, Steve McQueen, I couldn't speak. And to thank me, he said, well, I'm going to take you to a restaurant called the Poissonnerie. Now, I didn't know that poisson meant fish, and I'm allergic to seafood and any kind of fish whatsoever. So anyway, we go to this beautiful restaurant, sit at a beautiful bar, and he gives me this very long wooden thing to hold, which I now know to be a pepper mill. So I'm sitting holding it, not knowing what it is. He orders. I now know what came was seafood chowder. So, because me going like this, with Steve McQueen, you wouldn't go, oh, no, love, I don't want that, thanks. And immediately, my body reacted and projectile vomited all over Steve McQueen's body, face, everything. Sat there and thought, it's coming again, it's coming again. Ran out onto the pavement, all over the pavement. My last image of that beautiful man is being in a taxi and looking back and seeing him going, oh! And I thought he was going to marry me, Alan.
And did he never ring after that?
Never rang.
While we're doing Hollywood name droppings, Robert Redford?
Oh, that was terrible. I went for a
you wouldn't think Sherry Hewson had met both Steve McQueen and Robert Redford.
Both beautiful. And Paul Newman, who was also very beautiful.
Well, my wife will be awfully
beautiful
jealous.
Men. Disaster every time I ever met any of these people. I went for a film, The Great Gatsby, and anyway, I went into the audition. And I didn't know Robert Redford was going to be there. Elia Kazan was there and all these amazing people of the time. And suddenly this guy turned around and went, hi. And I went, oh! It was so awful. And I completely lost the power of speech. So the producer said, so tell us, you know, this is, what have you been doing? You know, you're an actress. He went, yeah, oh, OK. So anyway, what was your last part? And I went, and I could only think that I'd done the third witch in Macbeth. That's all I could come to. I went, third witch in Macbeth. And he went, sorry? And he went, third witch in Macbeth. And he cried. It was awful. I kept just looking at Robert, and Robert Redford was going, oh.
I hardly dare ask about Paul Newman. What happened?
Well, no, he came to see... I did Lady from the Sea with Vanessa Redgrave at the Roundhouse here and in London, and he came round, and he was just standing in front of me, and I went, oh, hello, and he went, oh. So I backed away from him. Joanne Woodward came straight in front, and he thought I was some kind of stalker, some awful stalker. He went... Get away, get away. And I was like, no, I just wanted to say hello. And Joanna was going, can you just leave me? Or every time I meet anybody, it's just out of pure love of somebody like that, you know.
Oh, dear. Well, I'm pleased it hasn't happened here. God bless you. But look, the great thing is, it's an amazing story, you know, of triumph and disaster. But at the moment, triumph in that Loose Women seems to have picked you up, as it were, by the scruff of your neck.
I've been doing Loose Women 9 years, and they've got me through. When you read this, and I hope when people read this that they actually can relate to it and just learn a lesson from the bad things. Always ask for help. I never asked for help, and I wasted many of my years. But I've been doing Loose Women for 9 years, and all those girls, including Gorgeous Jane, have helped me to this point and have been my therapy. And I love them all because they've got me to here, do you know what I mean? And I've had the most wonderful time, and they've made me be able to write that book.
It's a great story. Laughter and tears in equal measure. Great pleasure to talk to you. Ladies and gentlemen, Sherry Hewson.
Thank you.
Still also to come this afternoon, including one of the nation's funniest men, Lenny Henry's here. As Kate Middleton once again wows the crowds, this time during a walkabout in Northern Ireland, we ask, can she keep her feet on the ground? And find out how a bottle of wine could boost your bank balance. Don't go anywhere. Lenny Henry raises a laugh, I hope, and tells us about his life-changing trip to Africa. And we return to the 80 wine cellar to find out how a bottle of Plonk could boost your bank balance. But now to the newfound pressure on Kate Middleton. Once again, Prince William's bride-to-be wowed the crowds on an impromptu walkabout in Northern Ireland yesterday. In the past few weeks, the 29-year-old has undertaken a number of public engagements, and these will no doubt increase following her wedding at the end of April. The pressure on the soon-to-be royal must be intense. So, can she stay grounded, or will royal life make it impossible for her to keep her feet on the ground? Here to discuss are Jane MacDonald, the author of Diana, Her True Story, and the forthcoming book about Prince William and Catherine, Andrew Morton, and Carol Malone. Jane, do you think she'll be able to stay grounded?
I think she's been in training for quite some time, and I think the media have been really good. But what you have to remember is she's taking on a job that is going to be the future Queen of England. So, I mean, she's going to be there with King William. Is it? Have I got that right? I'm not very good at
that. We won't know until he gets there if he chooses William or another name, will we?
But she is going into something that she knows she's going to be in the public eye. I think she's doing a wonderful job. And I think a lot of people learned a lot of lessons from the Diana syndrome, and I think she'll do a brilliant job. I think she's going to be fantastic at it.
Well, one man who's perhaps better placed than most to compare the two, if you like, comparisons, although they are odious, is Andrew Morton. Andrew, you wrote the book Diana, Her True Story with contributions from help from Diana. Do you see a difference between these two women?
Huge difference. I mean, at the time she was 20, and she was a very young 20. She was overwhelmed by going into the royal family. One minute this is Diana, she was a kindergarten teacher. Next minute people were calling her Your Royal Highness, they were curtsying, and she felt this big difference, or big distance between people. The key thing that Kate has to realise is do not forget your friends, and do not forget your family, because that's what happened not just to Diana but also to Fergie. Remember, Fergie was put into Buckingham Palace when she married Prince Andrew. So that's the key thing, is to, if she wants to stay grounded, stay with your mates, stay with your family.
So will she be able to do that, do you think?
I think, well, even now she's living at home. Prince Andrew's up in Anglesey, where he's a helicopter pilot.
William. Is it?
William. Prince William.
Yeah. Unless, of course, you know something we don't.
I'm talking about myself now.
Carol. Okay. Carol.
I tell you what I think she needs to stay grounded. I think she needs the support of the man who's going to be her husband. The thing that Diana didn't have for a long time was the support of Charles. He was very bitter and very jealous about the fact about her popularity and about the fact that she put him into the shadows. And you know, for Kate to do this right, she has to have 100% support from William. And I hope it happens. You know, when she was in Anglesey the other week, I was really amazed at how well she did. And I saw the way she connected with people. But, you know, at the end of that visit, William got into the car before her and waited or left her out there. And I thought, why did you do that? He needs to be with her the whole step of the way. And
he may have done it because he's still a very young man. A lot of young men would have done that with their other halves.
But she's a very young woman, and she's about to be thrown into the biggest job of her life, and she needs 100% support. Now, he's not mad keen on public engagements, and so maybe he will let her get on with it. And I think she's going to be perfectly capable, but he must be with her.
You used the word support there. And Andrew, this is quite critical here, that she should get support, not just from her husband, but you say from her friends. But a lot of the time she'll be working, ergo she won't be in the company of her friends. She'll be in the company of courtiers, of people who manage those royal roles. Will she get support there? Do you think that side of the business has learnt anything from that?
That's the key. It's a very good point, because courtiers in the past would overwhelm people. Diana felt overwhelmed, Fergie felt overwhelmed. This time, I think they've got to learn the lesson, the fact that they've got to give her head, give Kate the chance to establish herself. So, for example, when the Duke of Edinburgh is 90 this year, he will relinquish a lot of his charities. I don't think they should just necessarily dump them on Kate. They should, you know, she should get into the system very gradually and learn the ropes, because the royal family, they'll eat you up and spit you out.
You know what worries me? When the two of them start doing things as a couple, and her popularity will increase tenfold, there's no question. And that means their lives are going to have to change. She's not going to be able to pop into the pub for a pint like he has been doing. Their security will change. The confines of her life will change. And that slightly worries me, because there will be Kate mania later on, because you can just tell the way it's going now. She's very likeable, you know. She's,
but you can separate. I'm sure you can separate. I think you can have a private life and a public life. And I think it's also... It's a job. This is a job.
But it's a 24/7 job for them, isn't it?
I think it's a good point. I mean, what Prince William's always wanted is normal. He wants to live a life less extraordinary.
But he can't be normal. He's going to be a king.
And I think what you're going to see is that he will appear on, as it were, the royal stage from time to time at these engagements. Then off stage, he will be backstage.
What we've got to remember and hope is that it will be an awful long time before he's king.
Yeah.
You know, his grandmother's showing signs of carrying along as long as her mother did, which is another 10 years, if you like, plus. Her son may well outlive his... You know, his father's lived to 90, so Prince William could well be in his 60s before he takes the throne. That's 20, 30, 40 years hence. So, in the meantime, it seems to me that she's been very personal and handled herself really well. There was a great relief, it seemed to be, in that engagement interview, Jane, where they were touring together, and she seemed far more relaxed than ever Diana did in that situation.
I think you're perfectly right, and I think she has been in training, because it is a different... I think people think, oh, let her be normal, let her be... No, it is a job. This is the royal family, and you don't marry into the royal family without knowing what you're going into. And I think especially after Diana...
And do you remember
she's had 8 years training.
Do you remember a few years ago they had to get some kind of order against the press because they were following her, because she couldn't cope with it. She's a different woman now, you know. That was like about 3 or 4 years ago, I can't remember. And she couldn't cope with all the attention. Yeah, 2005.
Well, we wish her all the best. She's not done a bad job so far. Let's just hope she can keep those feet on the ground and enjoy her life, and have a life to enjoy. My thanks to Jane, to Andrew and to Carol. Thank you very much indeed. So the gun, comedian Lenny Henry reveals why he's going back on the road, and find out how a bottle of wine could make your fortune. Well, a few bottles perhaps. We'll be right back. How to turn a fine wine into a fine investment. Can't wait. But my next guest is one of the nation's best-loved comedians. He's currently back on the road with his new one-man show. But recently, he returned from an emotional trip to Africa as part of his work with Comic Relief.
Do I have to stay here tonight? I can't bear it. Do they have to stay here? Can't we put them somewhere, like, temporary?
I've literally never, ever seen anything as bad as this. I know you have more come to Africa so many other times.
But this is the worst. This is the worst. This is the worst I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like this. And I want you to help me. I want you to do anything you can. Do whatever you can.
Please welcome Lenny Henry.
I wish I'd known we were both wearing pink shirts.
I know. At least you got a blue suit on. I wore the blue suit yesterday, so you're all right.
All right, fair enough.
That clearly really got... I mean, I know it gets to you every time when you go to Africa and you do stuff for Comic Relief. You've achieved such a lot since 1985, I think it started, and then 88 with Red Nose Day. That was clearly something else, what you encountered
This
there.
is a very different way of doing the Comic Relief documentaries. Usually we go and we've got a specific project that we want to talk about and tell the people at home about. But this was not a solution-based documentary. The idea was to plonk four well-known faces into a situation that they'd never encountered before and to see how they get on and to see what we learn via their experience. And I'd never been to Africa like that. I'd always gone and, you know, you always get your laundry done and you always get a cup of coffee and a squeezy cheese sandwich and you get to sort of do your research and then you go and do your broadcasting down the line looking at the camera. But this was just us living there. You know, and I lived for 3 days next to a family where there were 8 kids in a tiny space, and the youngest one, they'd lost a child to TB, and the youngest one that they had now had this horrible wet cough. And I just thought, I want to do something to help. And when you're there, you just think, I wonder if I can do something to help these guys. And it's a massive thing. 21 of the poorest countries in the world are in Africa. And so when you're there, you're hoping and praying that there's something you can do that will connect with the British public at home and make them give as much money as they can. So that's why we were all there. And it was an extraordinary experience. And I did cry. I'm 9/10 water, I found out. I just cried at everything. I was I saw these kids and I saw where they lived. They lived in this tiny room. And the boy, Bernard, was 16. And he's got a brother and 3 sisters. And he's been looking after them for a few years because his dad was killed in these riots a few years ago. And his mum died a year later with HIV. And he's been the surrogate dad ever since. And I went to their room where they lived, which was next to a blocked toilet, which was, honestly, it was like Russell Brand's pants. It was so horrible. And it stank, and they had no light. This is where they ate, this is where they cooked, this is where they slept. Tiny, tiny room. And I just started to cry. I just thought, can we get him out of here? Yeah. And that was my whole thing. Let's stop making the documentary and let's get him out of here. And that's the first time I've done anything like that with Comic Relief. Because usually there's a distance there, but this was because we were in it.
Did you manage to achieve anything?
Well, you have to watch the show and find out.
Right. Well, we look at the hopeful glint in your eye.
But it's a really exhilarating programme. We all had wonderful experiences in the second part of the stay over there. It was a wonderful thing to do.
It's great that this juxtaposition between tragedy and comedy, because it's the comedy that makes the money that sorts out the tragedy, and the comedy's never been far away from you. You're out on tour now.
Yes.
Where you're making music as well, because I gathered you've always wanted to be a pop star.
Kinda. I went through a thing in the... people like this... the audience is shocked. But in the 80s, I kind of... Because I was doing Theophilus P. Wildebeest, Theo was kind of had the big codpiece and was a sort of Barry White-alike. And I really enjoyed the kind of, come on home with me. I enjoyed all that stuff. And people started to say, you can sing a bit, Len. You should try and make some records. So I tried, and I made demos all over London, and I got signed. I got signed by A&M, and I got signed by Island Records, and I even had a meeting with Trevor Horn to talk about it.
So what went wrong? What happened?
Well, the thing is, the choice is, do you take on a completely new career, having bought your mum a house doing comedy? And all my family going, I don't think doing music is a good idea, you know. Because you bought my hearing aid, you bought your mother a house on a colour TV with the comedy, and you've been doing that for a while since you were 16. Now you want to leave the comedy, having bought your mama house, and go into this completely new land of music where you don't have any bloody experience at all. And they were right, you know. They were right, and it was a fork in the road. I was asked whether I wanted to take it up seriously or not, and I had to say no. I'm going to carry on doing comedy.
But you did have a bash at Straight Acting and did an Othello that was absolutely rave reviewed. Now that must have taken guts. I mean,
thank you.
How How terrified were you of doing that? Do you remember the first night?
How terrified?
Yeah.
The first night I had a cork up my bum. That's how terrified I was. Really frightened. And it was a blur. The first night was a blur. I went on, I said, whatever the first line is, and then at the end I said, whatever the last line is, and in between there was just this... Hoo-ah! Munchkin, munchkin, munchkin. There was this weird hinterland of strangeness. And what was great was my instincts and my learning, because I've been learning the script for several weeks, all my instincts took over the first few nights, because I was literally so frightened. If I'd plugged into the moment, I'm here on stage in front of people, my brain would have just gone... and that would have been it. All over, Alan.
But you're going to do any more?
I think so, yes. There's more acting to be done, and I'm planning on doing a big thing at the end of the year. And I'm working with Roy Williams and Kwame Kwei-Armah on new projects. And I'm looking for... I love the acting, I really like... I love comedy, I love music, but I'm really enjoying the acting.
So the one-man show is on the road. Well, not one man, but I mean, you're mainly
It's
there
called
around.
Cradle to Rave, Alan, and it's stand-up comedy about how music has affected my life, and we're all over the country. And if people want details, they can go to lennyhenry.com, and all the tours on there.
Wonderful. It's great to talk to you.
Really nice to talk to you too.
Thanks for making us laugh, and keep entertaining us with your Shakespeare. Lenny Henry! Now then, do you want to know where to invest your money during the recession? Would you believe a bottle of wine could be the answer to long-term wealth? You don't need a lot of money to become a wine investor, but with a few careful purchases, you too can turn your Pinots into profits, your Cabernets into cash, and your Merlots into moolah, and your Lenny Henrys into your cupboard under the stairs.
Here to tell us all more, our resident wine expert, Jasper Corbett, and on our tasting panel this afternoon, Jane McDonald, Nick Moran, and Sherry Hewison.
Thank you! Do you ever get the feeling your thunder has been stolen? Jasper, investing in wine, is this not a mug's game then?
Oh, well, to a point it might be, Alan. The fine wine index has outstripped all the stock markets around the world, and a few weeks ago the price of a case, 12 bottles of Lafite 1982, Chateau Lafite 82, went through £50,000.
Are we up for this, guys?
So it's quite a lot of dough. But that's investing in wine. But does it affect the rest of the wines we drink? I mean, do you have to spend a fortune to buy a nice bottle of wine? So what I'm going to do today is say no. What you can do is look at what is available in independent wine merchants and supermarkets and just think, could I just let that rest a bit longer and let it age into something rather better?
So what are we tasting today?
So today you're going to taste champagne, white and red. You're going to taste two champagnes. One is vintage, 2000, and the other is a non-vintage. Then you're going to taste two whites. So
are we doing A first?
A first. Have a sip.
Okay.
Champagne, when champagne's non-vintage, it has to be at least 15 months old before it leaves the champagne house. When it's a vintage champagne, it's got to be at least 5 years. And so with a single vintage, you're buying a champagne made from 1 year. The non-vintage is a blend of years. But what is the difference is how long it's allowed to age and rest. So what are your thoughts, anyway, between those two?
Oh, yeah, what do you think? I mean, Sherry's just knocking it back, so it's difficult to say. Jane, pause between... Do you like A?
No, I think B's the one for me.
You like B?
Yeah.
Nick, A or B?
A's much nicer. I think A's the vintage.
I think A's the vintage. I have to say, I think A's...
Give me the cheap stuff.
What do you think? A or B, Sherry?
They both taste the same.
Oh.
So I'll go for A.
You go for A.
Nick says.
Nick and I and Sherry are not going for A.
A is the Laurent Perrier 2000 vintage, about £40 a bottle, widely available. And B is the younger one. It's a Blanc de Noir from Sainsbury's. It's £17.58 a bottle.
Oh,
but
you're a cheap
it's only Put it in the cellar.
Put it in the cellar, Jane.
And let it rest for a couple of years.
Date.
And that will evolve. It'll evolve. Moving on. White wines.
Well done, Nick. Good one there. Yep.
White wines. I've just picked one grape variety that ages well, Chardonnay. So we've gone to the little area of Burgundy in France, and so we've got an A and a B. One is 2009 and one is 2007. Only 2 years, but that's just long enough to let them develop beyond each other.
Job. It's great.
B is less edgy than A. Nick, what do you reckon?
What are your thoughts?
I think A's the better one. I think B's the one that's going to mature.
B's a bit thinner.
We like that.
Sherry?
We like that.
Sherry? I mean, can you tell any difference between these two?
I'm trying. Hang on a minute.
you ever met Nick Ferrari? You should. There won't be much left in your cellar.
I'll go with A.
Go with A?
Nick's following a bit drunk.
Go with B. Right. B is the older. B is the Chasson Montrachet 2007. And A is the Macon Fuissé Vieille Vigne, £12.99 from Majestic. The Chasson Montrachet 2006, I apologise, is £19.99. And they're the same grape variety, but just 2 years apart. One has lost that sort of slightly edginess to it,
right.
and has just matured nicely. On to the reds.
On to the reds.
Right.
Oh,
I'm taking you to Spain. Rioja. Two different Riojas.
Oh, I love Rioja.
Okay, one is 1988, one's 1988, and a Grand Reserva. That's 5 years in barrel aging, and the other is a 2006 Reserva.
Oh, God.
What do you think?
Come on, Nick, you're our vine expert here. Unifile.
B.
You like B? Jerry likes B, though, has now lost all powers of taste. Jane?
Well, I think that's A.
After you've had 4...
I know.
It's pretty difficult to tell. I always do this in a restaurant, is buy the nice bottle I want to start with, and then the plonk, the second one, because it doesn't really matter.
I'm not right. Aren't we all then?
I think I'd go for... I think the older one is...
I don't know.
B. A.
B.
B? Okay, so very briefly.
Nice in colour. And the B is about £75 a bottle. Not available anymore. But the A is only £13.99. Available at Waitrose and other fine white sauce. But you can leave it to mature and age a bit longer.
Cheap, leave it to age. My thanks to Jasper, to Jane, Nick and Sherry. Thank you very much indeed. That's it for today. Tomorrow it's time to favourite Ollie Murs performs. Actor Robert Powell drops by. Rosemary Schrager gives me a trifle-making masterclass, and Corrie Lovebird, Sian and Sophie alias Sasha Parkinson and Brooke Vincent are here. Tomorrow at 3. See you then. Bye-bye.
Well, make sure to tune in tomorrow morning when Hollywood heartthrob Channing Tatum will be in the studio on Daybreak. That's from 6 a.m. Next today, though, Who Killed the Undertaker? It's Midsummer Murders.